She is the seductive chameleon of the modeling world. When she walks down the runway, heads turn. When she stares into a camera, hearts stop. Stefani Seymour is a society girl temptress, a dedicated mother who's often seen in nothing but her underwear.
I think that people are probably relieved when they find out I have 3 kids.
Using her playful feline charms, she grew from a sex kitten to a lingerie lioness. What mystery lurks behind these exotic eyes? And who is the millionaire businessman who took stock in Stefani's heart and struck it rich in love? Next on Model, Stefani Seymour. Stefani Seymour is more than just a pretty face. She is, in fact, 100 pretty faces. Her career snowballed down Versace runways.
We loved doing his shows. We loved doing his campaigns. Everything was always the best. It was always to the maximum.
She romped with Marcus Schenkenberg in these revealing Avedon photos.
I was a little nervous the first day, though. Because I was basically naked.
She splashed across ads for Chanel. She was on covers and between them. And in the early years, Stefani went head-to-head against rising stars like Cindy Crawford.
It was funny because I remember everybody thought we were sisters, and we hated that because, you know, you wanted to be kind of like your own thing. You wanted to be very individual.
Ultimately, Stefani became a supermodel with nothing to lose except for her clothes.
Sometimes I get a little chillier than others.
And with all this coverage, or lack of it, it wasn't long before Stefani was swept off her feet by a polo-playing Romeo.
I guess I always had a crush on him, and he always kind of had a crush on me.
A child was born. There was a wedding in Paris, and a fairy tale life was about to begin.
God, it's just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I have everything.
Coming up on Model, get to the bottom of Stefani's bare assets. Hear about Stefani's new life in high society, and explore the many faces of the mysterious Stefani Seymour.
I just give sex appeal.
Beautiful, Stefani. Hey, look at me now. Ready? Look at me, I tell you.
Stefani is definitely sexy in a very animalistic way. I think she's very animal, and she has a unique way of posing and using her legs and moving her hair and playing with her eyes, which is what makes her very sexy to me, actually, and to a lot of other people.
She had this innate ability wherever you put her. It wasn't just to look beautiful, it was to move. So the photographer could keep snapping, and he never had the same picture twice.
Yet when she was young, Stefani Seymour considered herself clumsy and awkward.
The thing that I think everybody in the family would say is that we were all just so gawky.
Stefani's cousin William was a bosom buddy of the blossoming seductress.
She just had a lot of growing pains. Her legs hurt. She was just tall, tall, tall.
All models think they were ugly when they were little girls, except maybe Vendela.
I always wanted to be a model or an actress or something like that. I mean, that was always my dream since I was a little girl.
That dream seemed ready to become a reality when Stefani was just 14.
Her mom was like really into photography, and at that time it was taking pictures of Stefani.
Stefani's mother was the major force in her daughter's career. The budding teenager was soon looking for places to submit her first photographs.
And I came upon these contests, and one was for Elite's contest, the Look of the Year.
Elite's Look of the Year was the first stop for the world's aspiring models, a talent search for future photo phenomenals.
About 3 months later, I heard back from the Look of the Year, so that's how it all started.
Thousands applied, only 70 were called.
I didn't think I was anything so special. I just had dreams, so I was over the moon.
My name is Stefani Seymour, and I come from San Diego, California.
And then there were 12 finalists. Amongst the finalists were Cindy Crawford, me.
And among Stefani's other opponents was the shimmering Hunter Reno.
A lot of big girls came out of that contest.
The winner of a total of $200,000.
I didn't win. But neither did Cindy.
And although Stefani didn't come home with the award, she kept her eye on the prize, a future in modeling.
One of the positives, rather than to talk about the bad sides of starting so young, the good sides about it are, I don't think you really think too much about failing or succeeding. You just do it.
Eventually, that persistence paid off.
She had some contest in Mexico, and then she went to New York. It was really exciting. And then she was like in New York working, you know, right away.
Well, my mother loved it because she probably could have been a great model.
Once again, Stefani's mother became the defining force in her daughter's life.
So my mother really kind of pushed me, and my father, he didn't like the idea too much, but he didn't want to hold me back.
I think it was really all along, you know, Steph's choice, what she wanted to do.
It would mean moving to New York.
Lovely.
It would mean giving up a bit of her youth. And it would mean the beginning of a new life.
Wonderful, Stephanie, perfect.
Coming up on Model, we'll learn the secret behind Stefani's electrifying look.
When you look at the photographs, it's very telling that there's something going on behind her.
And Stefani reveals the man who revitalized her career.
He made me love modeling again.
And the loss that shook an industry.
It's so horrible how he died, and it's just such a tragedy.
There's always something.
After overcoming early disappointment, super seductress Stefani Seymour was poised to conquer the world of modeling.
It's not something that I sat around and thought about. I just wholeheartedly went in and did it.
Coming up, Stefani takes a dip in Sports Illustrated's ocean of sensuality. And she shares her grief at the loss of a fashion icon.
Look at me now. Voila, Timosa. Very nice.
Stefani's budding career took her to fashion capitals around the world.
Once I came back from Paris, there was no going back.
It wasn't long before Stefani pulled her first chameleon-like transformation, first hitting the runways.
From there, I went to the Sports Illustrated bathing suit issues, and I think that's when a real turning point started to happen.
Julie Campbell produced and edited 32 swimsuit editions.
The thing that's most remarkable about Stefani, for me, is that you could give her a very tough location or a corner and a white wall and say, Stefani, I want you to do something wonderful.
It was wonderful as she worked her charisma for 2 issues of the prurient periodical.
Stefani would just cuddle up to the wall. It might be a shoulder, it might be how she has her head. It was never an overt movement. It was comfortable and it was natural, but it was so easy when she did it.
With Sports Illustrated, Stefani proved her powers, including the monumental hold of her glamorous gaze.
If I could take every new face in this agency and show her what a real model is, I would take them to a Stefani Seymour shoot.
Perfect. Eyes here.
Stefani works her eyes like an ardent Medusa. One look and you're hooked.
I think she is an actress and that she will close her eyes and then she'll look up into the camera and she'll look not into the camera but through the camera and beyond the camera.
I think the eyes are very, very one of the most important things in a photograph.
Her technique is very much her own. I've never seen quite the same exact technique from the other girls.
The idea that people would ever think that models just kind of like, you can't do that.
The way she holds herself, the way she walks are all devastatingly distinctive.
I just have my sexy own little kind of walk, and I don't try to do anything fancy because I'm not a graceful runway girl. I could trip easy.
But her most admired trait is the one her many fans rarely get to see.
Stefani is what I would call sweet.
She's unique because she's extremely nice at the same time to everyone, you know, which is in this business pretty rare, actually.
Stefani's got the look and the heart, and she's used both to snare some of fashion's most prestigious jobs.
One of the most historic campaigns was the Versace Richard Avedon shooting. I think people got to see Stefani really come off the page.
I'm not exactly sure what it did for my career, but I know that working with Richard Avedon changed how I felt about modeling.
In these groundbreaking Avedon photos for Egoist, Stefani's many faces took on a new elegance and an even greater allure.
I loved working with him. I mean, it's all about becoming a character, and he just understands how to make each picture so full and so rich.
And in these stunning Avedon pictures for Versace, Stefani and superhunk Marcus Schenkenberg pushed the marriage of sex and fashion to new heights. For Marcus, the chemistry was very real.
Working with Stefani was great. I actually had a crush on her when I first started modeling.
But while the session was memorable, it is Versace who will always be in Stefani's thoughts.
Very, very charming and a good person, you know? Not the kind of person that should have been taken away from the world like that.
Coming up on Model, Stefani reveals her secret.
I guess everyone always follows her around and saying, are you the Victoria's Secret girl?
And what happens when two symbols of sensuality knock hips?
Fashion emergency. I'm in trouble. Ma'am, take a deep breath. Okay. Now tell me what's wrong. I've got nothing to wear. I'm bloated. My hair is horrible. My shoes are out of date. I need a new look, but I have no money and no time. All right, turn your TV to E and watch Fashion Emergency. Fashion Emergency? It's the only weekly makeover show of its kind. We've got top designers, makeup artists, and E's very own fashion experts to help people like you, people with fashion emergencies. Oh, thank you. Just doing my job.
Fashion Emergency, starting December 29th, only on E!
It's a very magic holiday special.
Magic, I'm really feeling the holiday spirit.
Hey, Dickie, what about my holiday spirit? It's Morgan Fairchild.
Hi, Magic.
It's Morgan Fairchild.
Hi, boys.
Oh, you shouldn't have, Morgan.
But I did. Old Navy has great gifts under $10.
You all need gifts.
Magic, this is for you.
Gifts under $10? Fabulous.
Hi, my microwave died. Can I use yours?
Yeah.
Thanks.
New Campbell's Home Cooking Cream of Mushroom Soup.
Hey, mushroom soup. But yours looks richer than mine.
Try some.
I can't.
Oh, no. It's low fat.
Fresh mushrooms in a creamy broth, and it's 98% fat-free. Only from Home Cooking.
Take all you want.
Gee, thanks. I will.
Campbell's Home Cooking, also in 98% fat-free clam chowder. Great taste, never looked better.
He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Sounds like you need a restraining order. That's Dog Soup tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, only on E!
Tired of struggling to remove...
When an accident happens, you have a choice of who repairs your car. Don't let an insurance company choose for you. Choose Big Z Collision Center with locations in Fontana and San Bernardino. We're the insurance repair specialist in the Inland Empire. Our factory-trained technicians will restore your vehicle to its pre-accident condition quickly using state-of-the-art technology. With our computerized estimating system, you'll get immediate help with your claim and the fastest possible turnaround on repairs. And if you need a rental car, we can make the arrangement.
If you're gonna eat a juicy new Carl's Jr. charbroiled sirloin steak sandwich, be careful. It's a jungle out there. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Stefani Seymour climbed to the top of the modeling mountain. But realizing that less is more, she made a daring dive into the pages of Sports Illustrated. Then Stefani turned a bedroom secret into a national pastime.
If you're an angel, I'm a nun.
And what happens when the king of lounge, Tom Jones, goes head-to-head, hip-to-hip with the queen of lingerie?
Here we go on Stefani first.
Obviously, I wear Victoria's Secret.
It started as a secret, but thanks to Stefani Seymour, it soon became a household name.
Victoria's Secret is a special catalog. I think it kind of goes beyond being just a catalog. It becomes very personal.
I think no matter what you're shooting, it's important to be comfortable with the photographer, but yeah, probably especially with lingerie.
Getting comfortable, that's Stefani's first step to a sexy lingerie spread.
I think you can't do a great picture if you don't connect somewhere with the subject that you are working with.
You have to, yeah, trust them and feel comfortable with them. And obviously I feel that way with Antoine.
And after you're comfortable, the second step is to get sexy.
I think lingerie is sexy, but obviously that's not what makes someone sexy.
Sexy, it's very subjective to anyone. Sexy can be vulgar, but sexy can be elegant, sexy can be charming, sexy can be provocative, you know.
Even if I'm not feeling sexy, I make myself feel sexy so that I can do my job and get it done.
And getting the job done involves a third step, staying in shape.
Well, if you excuse the expression, I think Stefani has the best buns and modeled them.
And how does she maintain that look?
Not supposed to ask that question. You ruined my future in exercise videos.
Even after having 3 babies, Stefani is still modeling for Victoria's Secret because she manages to stay in shape.
Well, they say that nursing is good, flat in the stomach.
There's no magic in it. She had her babies. I witnessed her pregnancies and the recovery of her shape, which was incredibly quick. And I could hate her for that, but I don't.
Getting comfortable, getting sexy, and staying in shape. With these 3 simple steps, Stefani turned underwear into outerwear and turned herself into a superstar.
From the first moment she hit our pages, the catalog was never the same.
Billions of catalogs are sent out all the time, and it's intimate, it's in people's homes, so, you know, everybody got to know her from those catalogs.
Stefani was already quite famous when she started working for Victoria's Secret. I think what it maybe did for Stefani was bring her into the hands of more and more people.
There were hands everywhere, reaching into mailboxes for a weekly fix of fantasy pics, but Stefani had even bigger thrills in store. After the unprecedented success of the catalogs, Victoria's Secret cast Stefani as the star in a series of tantalizing campaigns. First, she went from underwear to beauty care. At Christmas time, she gave Santa a ride. But all this was just a warm-up. Stefani really hit the heights when Victoria's Secret cast her in its Angels campaign.
And here we go on Stefani first.
This time, she floated on air with supermodels Karen Mulder, Tyra Banks, and Daniela Pestova.
Welcome to Heaven Home.
And there was an even more special guest, a man whose swiveling hips inspired waves of women to fling their lingerie his way.
Stefani, I think it's Tom Jones.
They put me in charge of the Angels.
The meeting of these 2 icons, Studly Tom and seductive Stefani, made for a stunningly successful campaign, and a job Jones will never forget.
I've had underwear thrown at me my whole life, but it's never been Victoria's Secret.
Coming up on Model, Stefani goes from an angel to a mother superior. And what does this model do on her days off?
When I started to collect art, I saw the world differently.
They came from outer space. We've got to stop now. And are using their superior intellect and brute strength.
I took my head off in front of the kids.
To conquer insignificant Earthlings with laughter. Now, to save the Earth, E gives you an exclusive look behind the scenes at the secret alien society of Third Rock from the Sun. Interplanetary relations will never be the same. Third Rock from the Sun, behind the scenes, this Sunday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on E.
Why wait till January 1st to make your New Year's resolution? Call 1-800-45-JENNY to get in shape for the holidays. Join now. This is your last week to lose all the weight you want for $1 a pound, plus the cost of food. Hurry, this special ends on Friday.
ID confirmed.
Bond. James Bond.
ID confirmed. ID confirmed.
Tart?
Caveat. Take a check.
Absolutely, James. Just need some ID. Driver's license to kill, that sort of thing.
Really, 007, you should use a Visa check card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted. Oh, it's going to explode in 5 seconds.
The Visa check card works like a check, only better.
Just joking.
See, tomorrow never dies.
It is nothing you've ever seen.
God almighty.
It is nothing you've ever felt.
Let us know so we can have a chance!
It is something you will never forget.
This is it!
Titanic, rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Hey!
Just what I need.
Sorry. Jeez. Got you really good, too. Here, take it. No, I couldn't.
And what are you, 34 ways?
Yeah.
We got you covered.
Wait, what do you...
Think that's refreshing? Try this, the crisp, clear lemon-lime taste of 7-Up. It's perfect holiday refreshment.
Take the card. I insist.
Really? It is a wonderful item. It's a very magic holiday special.
Magic, I'm really feeling the holiday spirit.
Hey, Dickie, what about my holiday spirit? It's Morgan Fairchild.
Hi, Magic.
It's Morgan Fairchild.
Hi, boys.
Oh, you shouldn't have, Morgan.
But I did. Old Navy has great gifts under $10.
You all need gifts.
Magic, this is for you.
Gifts under $10? Fabulous.
I'm Steve Kometko.
And I'm Dina St. John.
We've got all the latest news from the world of entertainment.
Right here on the new 1-hour E! News Daily. Coming up next, only on E!
Stefani Seymour's romp through Victoria's Secret vastly increased the catalog's circulation, and Stefani's own circulation quickened when she met Peter Brandt.
Well, I remember the first time I really said, you know, kind of, wow, he's really smart.
Next, Stefani hops off the runway for a walk down the aisle.
You're alone, yeah? Okay, you're alone on top of the world, and that's nice.
In 1993, a gallant knight rode into Stefani's life and swept her off her feet.
He was smart and vibrant, and that really impressed me.
Businessman Peter Brandt came from money, but made an even larger fortune on his own. He introduced Stefani to a new life.
He's sweet, and he has a great sense of humor, and he's an incredible athlete, and he's a pretty incredible guy. That's why I married him.
The wedding was a lavishly romantic affair on the outskirts of Paris.
I was fortunate to attend her wedding to Peter Brandt, which was one of the most exciting nights of my life.
And then she realized one of her most precious dreams.
A lot of girls say to me, oh yeah, I want to have kids, but you know, I'm going to wait until I've finished modeling. I never thought about that. I just wanted to have a baby, so I had one. I wanted to have another, so I had another. I wanted to have another, so I had another.
Of Stefani's many roles, the role of parent is the one she cherishes most.
When you think of your kids, what pops into mind?
Love. Love. I love my children so much.
The wild, sensual seductress has taken on a new face.
I have my priorities very straight. I make sure that I have time to work, and I make sure that I have a lot of time with my children, quality time.
She now has a life of stately manners. Stefani is a society woman. First stop, the polo fields. When he's not busy winning Stefani's heart, Peter is a champion polo player.
Polo is a beautiful sport, and it's very dangerous, so it's incredible to watch these guys at the speed that they're riding these horses at.
And what's a society woman without a life in the arts?
You know, Warhol's one of my favorite artists, but I can't afford Andy Warhol.
Gallery owner and famed artist Tony Shafrazi has guided Stefani through countless high-stakes sales.
It's famous Dick Tracy. And so this is the beginning of when Warhol begins to paint seriously. She's become a very serious and a wonderful supporter of the arts.
Voila! Perfect, very nice.
Whether it's modeling or collecting, Stefani approaches both with the same intensity.
I collect Clementi, Francesco Clementi, Donald Badger, Keith Haring, Kenny Scharf.
Stefani has it all: art, sport, love, and beauty. So which is the real face of Stefani Seymour, the chameleon-like model or the dedicated mother? And which face will Stefani be wearing in the future? What will she be doing next?
I never talk about it. I either do it or I don't. And if I'm doing it, we'll talk about it. Okay. They're gonna think, woo, she was flipping it up. They're not gonna think about it as long as we look good.
You thought for a second? Yeah. It's about your eye. This eye over here.
My hair.
Really done.
Oh, yeah.
I have him looking. He's looking too.
Oh, now he's getting crazy. He's getting franny. Oh, they were so cute. Do I have enough blush?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Hi.